Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome. I have been doing Booktube now for almost a month, and I realized that I have not done a Booktube Newbie Tag, so I hope that I'm not too late to it. I didn't start it right away, but I'm still consider myself new, so I would like to introduce myself to you all. So why I started YouTube is the way that many of you have started. Having your own booktube channel is just I love books. I love talking about books, but unfortunately there's not enough people in my everyday life that I can share that passion with. And so I thought I could just post videos and see what happens, and I have already been able to have some great conversations, so I'm already enjoying booktube in the community. And I just love the idea of that we all bring something specific to the table here, despite the fact that there's many of us out here. And so what I bring that's unique is that not only do I have a love for books, but I have other passions as well that I get to interweave within my book reading or my videos that I have. And so one of those examples, if you can see by my username, is I am an amateur blacksmith, and so I'm currently working on a sword for the first time, and I have just finished a Damascus dagger. I've also done a couple other knives so far, and I have already done a video where I share my dagger and recommend a fantasy book that reminds me of the dagger and why I did it. And I would like to do that with my other projects as well along the way. And I have already posted a couple of videos of me in the forge, just short clips and stuff that I would like to continue on with, just because I would like to share both of those passions with you. And another thing that I enjoy a lot is sumo. Actually, I love any kind of martial arts. I was a second-degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, and now, like I said, I'm doing sumo. And I would love to share videos, clips of that, just talk about it amongst my reading, especially getting to talk about the culture and stuff that brings upon martial arts, and whether it's historical fiction, whether it's nonfiction in history, or sports books in general. I just it allows me to share those different experiences and also recommend books that you might not have read otherwise or heard of otherwise. So I plan to, share a bit of my unique personal life through my book recommendations. And on top of that, my book likes and reading is very eclectic. I enjoy all kinds of different genres. I do read a lot of nonfiction. I primarily prefer history or biographies, autobiographies, memoirs. I do like science-themed books, especially if there's about a certain person or a certain time period. And I would have said my favorite fiction genre is fantasy, but since I've also been trying to read books from authors from around the world, I'm realizing that I really enjoy historical fiction. So that's been a fun journey to learn about myself that I would like to share with you. I have started reading around the world, specifically focusing on it since last year. I have read diversely before, so I'm rereading a bunch of countries that I've already read. But since last year, 2024 was an Olympic year, I'm always fascinated when I watch the opening ceremony for the Olympics and how you get to watch the companies bring their athletes in and celebrate them. But there are some who have only like one or two athletes. There are some from, flags I didn't recognize or countries I didn't recognize. And I had always kind of researched stuff that I didn't know, just so I could kind of familiarize myself, like when they're playing, when Team USA is playing against someone else or competing against someone else. I would always try to do a little bit of research, but last year I realized, instead of researching each individual country, I wanted to read an author from each country. And so that's what I've been specifically, my biggest goal, reading goal is trying to find authors from all around the world. Sometimes I do have to settle on authors who are from that heritage or ethnicity, but not specifically born and raised there. I do prefer that, but if I can't, I do have some of my options limited. I also, if I can't find someone like a specific book or a novel or even nonfiction, I will read a poem from an author in that country, or a short story, or an essay, or just something from every country. And I have found so many great authors that way, so many great books, so many great experiences and time periods that I was unfamiliar with, that I've now tried to fully research and even read nonfiction books about that time period, or about a person that I read the fiction book from. So that's one of my big reading goals. And the other one is that in 2023, I read The Count of Monte Cristo as my foray into trying to read some of the classics. I loved that book, and so I've been reading classics ever since. I'm making my way through a lot of them. There's a few that I have as favorites now that I'm trying to get through their whole catalog. I'll do a video later when I talk about my favorite authors and stuff. And then I have just slowly, there's been some that have been disappointments, some who I feel are overhyped. Others, though, I absolutely understand why they're classics, and they have become instant favorites of mine that I would love to reread, that I would love to talk about and chat about. So as you can see, my reading is eclectic, just like my hobbies are. And I also read children's books, young adult books. Like I said, I read nonfiction of any variety. I read pretty much anything. I just also somehow have a very specific taste. I do prefer character-driven work. I prefer strong characters, well-written characters. I prefer action and I guess dialogue to a lot of the flowery, overwritten. I can't concentrate for like 10 pages while someone is describing what somebody's room looks like or dress looks like. I don't have that imagination. I think the writing can be beautiful, but after a page or two, I kind of check out. So I do have my very specific preferences in the midst of having a wide variety of taste in genres. So that's some of the stuff about me and what I would bring uniquely, I think, to Booktube. I guess I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the recent books I read. I've seen a couple people do videos like this, and it was asking like the last book that made you cry. For me, that's absolutely Know My Name by Chanel Miller. It's a memoir. It still sticks with me. One that I would kind of, I guess, suggest along with that, that's a very difficult read, but one that also sticks with you, is My Dark Vanessa. I do not recommend that to everyone. You would absolutely have to check your trigger warnings for that. But they are very similar in how they're broaching a topic and trying to show you the woman's side of essentially being attacked, being raped, being I don't even know if I'm supposed to say all this stuff on YouTube, especially for my introduction. But anyway, those were some books that were powerful, that made me cry, that were hard to read though. One that I've thoroughly enjoyed, the most recent book that I really, really loved, was completely opposite end of that. and it's a sci-fi, humorous, found family, crazy storyline, like, that's hard to tell, and it's called Of Monsters and Mainframes. And it's space, it's, like I said, found family, but it also deals like a retelling of legends like Frankenstein, Dracula, and werewolves, in the origin and stuff of werewolves. So like you have murder mystery, you have a weird romance between a talking ship and her steward mechanical doctor, a robot doctor on ship. So like it has so much weird, fascinating stuff, and it was utterly fantastic, a fun ride to read. And just showing you those two highlights just shows you the vast difference in my taste and how eclectic it is. Like I said, I will read anything. And I hope that you want to join me on this journey. I've already enjoyed meeting a few people since I have started a month ago. I've already made a few friends. I had great conversations, and I hope that you'll join me. Thank you.